Hey everybody, it is Mr. George and it is Tuesday, April 28th, and I'm going to kind of run through what we're going to do for class tonight. We're going to focus on geography. We're going to look at Plymouth, uh, town of Plymouth, state of Massachusetts, look at the United States, understand different regions of the United States, and then the story that we're going to read tonight is about the future of the public library. And then also we have a lot of different online resources that are available to you. These resources we've gone over in previous classes. The links are on the agenda for tonight. So I'm just going to stop at the top here and kind of work our way down. So, especially if you're new to Plymouth, you may not be aware of all of the different parts of Plymouth. Whoops, that's Massachusetts. So let's move that over here. Hold on one second. Okay, so here's a map of Massachusetts. I got this from the town hall office of uh, of zoning. So if you're looking down at Plymouth, Plymouth is bordered by Kingston to the north, Carver, town of Carver to the west, down to the southwest. Also to the south, it's bordered by Wareham, as well as to the south, it's bordered by the town of Bourne. And along the east, it is bordered by the Atlantic Ocean. So we have Cape Cod Bay down here. As you move north, we have all the different beaches of Plymouth. And then we have Plymouth Harbor, and this is the point right here, the 3-mile point that goes out. So Plymouth Beach is right here, Plymouth, the 3-mile point. And then we have Plymouth Harbor here with the downtown. So as far as the different sections of town or the different villages of town, it's kind of connected with the types of elementary schools that we have. So if we start down the south, we have South Plymouth, okay, and then we have South Elementary School. As we kind of move up, we have this is the Cedarville section of Plymouth over here, down in the south part of town, Cedarville. And we have Indian Brook Elementary School. As we come up, we have the Manomet section of town, and we have Manomet Elementary School. As we come downtown, we have Nathaniel Morton Elementary School, and this really is Plymouth Center, okay, downtown Plymouth. As we kind of move further up, we have Cold Spring and Hedge that are also for the northern part of town. We have West Elementary, and we have Federal Furnace for the western part of town. Plymouth has 2 high schools. We have Plymouth North High School, which is actually in this part. If you look at the map here, this big blue line that goes all the way from north to south is Route 3. Okay, so that big blue line is Route 3. So when we talk about, Plymouth North is up here. As we get to Plymouth South is down here. So it's a really huge town land-wise, the largest town based on land in Massachusetts. And this big area right here is the Miles Standish State Forest. Okay, we have 1 police station in town, that's over here. And we have different fire stations in different parts of town, very similar to the elementary schools that tend to service people who need assistance in different parts of town. So I hope that was helpful with our overview of Plymouth. And now when we look at the wider picture of the state of Massachusetts, Plymouth is right here. So Massachusetts is made up of cities and towns, about 350. Some are really small, some are really big. When we say it's a city, we mean that it's a city where we have full-time elected officials who are being paid their full-time jobs. Those are called mayors, and those are called city councilors. When we talk about towns, a lot of towns do not have full-time mayors. They have people that are on the different town boards that volunteer their time, whether it's people on the select board or whether it's on school committee. So we have different people that run for office, and it's volunteer where they're not getting paid. Obviously, in town, we have department heads, people that run public works, superintendent of the school system. We have the police chief, the fire chief. Those are full-time positions. But as far as the overall governance of Plymouth, we have a town manager, but that's not an elected position. Okay, that's not an elected position. So we talk about Massachusetts. Plymouth is right here. So this part over here, this is the Cape. This is Cape Cod. Once you go over either the Sagamore or the Bourne Bridge, that's how you get to Cape Cod. We've got the two major islands south of the Cape. It's Martha's Vineyard over here, and we have Nantucket over here. You can get there either by small plane, or you can get there by ferry or by boat. So this is the South Shore right here. This is the South Shore. Okay, and this is the south coast over here on this side. Okay, something about the water, because of this is on the southern side. This tends to be warmer water coming up from the Gulf of Mexico, and then the water on this side in Cape Cod Bay tends to be a lot colder. Okay? So we got Boston here. It's called the city of Boston, with its different boroughs, whether it's South Boston or Dorchester or West Roxbury. This is Metro West over here. We call this Metro West, and we call this the North Shore. Okay, North Shore. This is Central Massachusetts here, and this is Western Mass. Okay, this is Western Mass. Something about the highways that are kind of important in Massachusetts is that if it is an odd number, it goes north or west. I'm sorry, north or south. If it's an odd number, so Route 95, Route 93, Route 3, those roads go north to south, south to north. If it's an even number, for example, the Mass Pike is 90, okay, or 44, an even number, it goes east to west or west to east, depending upon which way you're going. Okay, so this kind of gives you the, it's called Cape Ann up here section, and we have the Berkshires is a section out in Western Mass. Okay, so this kind of gives you an overview of, we get the Cape and islands, South Shore, South Coast over here. We have Boston, Metro West, North Shore, including Cape Ann. Okay, South Shore is down here. Okay, Central Mass, and we have Western Mass. So that's kind of how Massachusetts looks. So if I go back to our agenda tonight, now what I want to do is I want to look at the United States. Okay, the United States. So if I look at this map of the United States, it's a topographical map of the United States. It shows the actual physical terrain. So Massachusetts, we're right over here. Okay, so you can see there's a key or a legend, we call this right here, that tells us what the colors mean as far as the elevation, the altitude, the height of the land. So when we see the mountainous areas, right here, this is called the Appalachian Mountains. That starts down here, and there's actually an Appalachian Trail that allows you to walk all the way from, I believe it's down in Georgia, all the way up to Maine. Okay, so the Appalachians. This is called the Midwest. This is where we have a lot of the farming in the United States, is in the Midwest. Now these are the Rocky Mountains right here. This is, so last week 2 weeks ago, you read about Lewis and Clark, where they were starting on the east and they were coming west, and they had to deal with all sorts of mountainous terrain. And that's where they got the help of the Native Americans, specifically Sacagawea, to allow them to traverse or come across those mountains. The Sierra Mountains are here. So this is the East Coast. This is the West Coast. It's bordered by Canada to the north, and it's bordered by Mexico to the south. And we have we have 50 states and the District of Columbia, and we also have 2 states that included in the 50 that are not attached to the other 48. So we have Alaska, that's north of Canada, and then we have Hawaii, which are the islands out in the Pacific. Okay. So now we're going to look at, if you come back to the agenda tonight, I want to look at the different sections of, click on this link right here, sections of the United States, and I'd like you to work with this and practice tonight. So when you click on that link, it gives you the northeastern states. Tonight you're going to choose the top link for each section, map identification. So this gives us the states in the northeast part of the United States. Okay, this specific part right here is called New England. Okay, from Maine and New Hampshire, Vermont, Massachusetts is right here, Rhode Island, and Connecticut. This is New England. So this whole section is called the Northeast. So after you review these, I'd like you to come down, click Start, and then it's going to test you. But try and take it without looking at the map up here. Okay, so it's called the Northeast. As I hit the back button, then you're going to come down and you're going to choose the southeastern states. Okay, the southeastern states. So starting in Virginia, West Virginia, all the way down here, and we tend to get warmer weather when we go north to south. Then we have Florida here. And then after you review those states tonight, come down, hit the Start button, and try and identify which state is which. So by hitting the Start button, a number is going to come in here, and you're going to click on the box that you think is going to be that. It's going to be that number. So that will give you the northeastern, the southeastern. Hit the back button. And as you come down to all the different sections, it'll give you the Midwestern states. So it's breaking up the different parts or regions of the United States and giving you all those states. Okay. After the South, then it gives you the Southwest, and then it gives you the Western states. So, what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to spend some time, because if you're watching the news and it tells you that something has happened in Texas, you should have an idea of like where Texas is actually located. Okay. And I come back to my first map. So this gives me a map of the United States as far as the landform. And if I come down here, this gives me all the states. So Massachusetts is over here. Okay. So tonight on your own, I'd like you to independently spend some time and go through each of the different sections or regions of the United States. Take each of those quizzes one time. So Northeast, Southeast, Midwest, Western states, hit all those different areas, and that will give you a nice overview of the geography, starting with Plymouth, looking at the state of Massachusetts, and then looking at all of the different states within the United States, going from the East Coast all the way to the West Coast. So good luck with that.